Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to another video. In this video we're going to be removing the base model brakes from an Infiniti Q50 and installing the Akebono Big Brake Kit. So let's get started. Before getting started, you are going to need a few things. You're obviously going to need the Akebono brakes. Now in this video I'm only going to be installing the rear ones because I already have the front ones installed on my Q50. So you're going to need the brake pads. The brake pads are already inside the Akebono brakes, or the calipers. And then you're also going to need the banjo bolts, which are going to be these here. If you're doing the full kit install, so that means the front and the back, you're going to have 4 of those because the stock caliper bolts don't actually fit. Let me show you guys. So this is the stock banjo bolt that comes on the stock caliper, the base one, and this is going to be the Akebono one. So as you can tell, there is a huge difference in size. You won't need the shorter one to be able to do this install. You can pick them up at your local shop, auto parts shop. I picked up mine up from Concept Z Performance. They have them in stock, and I believe they were like $5. So yeah, make sure you pick these up because if you have the long ones, they're not gonna fit and it's gonna keep dripping brake fluid. Another thing that you're gonna need is gonna be the rotor itself. This rotor is gonna be bigger than your stock rotor, so you're gonna need that for the Akebonos. And another thing that I didn't really notice is that the 370Z G37 front Akebono rotors do fit on the Q50, but the rear Akebonos from the 370Z and the G37, those rotors do not fit on the Q50. If you look them up, they're actually separate parts. So when you pick these up, make sure that you grab the ones for the Q50 and not for the G37 370Z. You will also need brake fluid. When you bleed the system, you're going to need to be refilling the brake reservoir with brake fluid, just to make sure it doesn't have any bubbles in the system. So make sure you grab some brake fluid. Also, some brake cleaner is necessary because the rotors do come with some I don't know exactly what it comes with, but it's lubricated where it's too slippery, so you need to clean them with some brake cleaner in order to get that off. And with the Akebono Big Brake Kit, you're going to need the hardware. So you have this clamp here that pushes down on the brake pads, and then you also have these studs here that are holding it in place so the brake pads do not come out when you're driving or anything like that. And then you will need these bleeders here. If yours doesn't come with any, you will have to buy these in order to be able to bleed the brakes properly. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start jacking up the car and taking off the wheels. Now that we have the caliper removed, we placed it on the top right here in the back. That way it doesn't strain or pull on the brake line. And you're going to want to cut this duct shield here in the back. You're going to use some scissors like these. This is what I'm using to cut it. And it should cut right through. As you can see, I've already cut this part right here. And you're going to have to go all the way around. Alright, so this has not been cut. Now, when you're cutting this, it is going to bend a little bit. So you can use the scissors to kind of bend it back. For example, like, I already pretty much straightened it out, but you can use the scissors, press it a little bit, and then you can start bending it back, and it'll bend it back in place. So I can bend it forward, and I can bend it back. But the main reason that you're cutting this is to try to get it away from the rotor, because it is going to hit on it. Now, once you cut this part, you should have no problems. I'm just going to remove like all the edges that are right here. I believe that this side right here gets in the way of the caliper, so I would just cut it, get it out of the way. Just like that. And then at the bottom as well, as a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see it, it's right here. Cut this part too, just so you don't have any sharp edges. Once you have placed the rotor on, go ahead and check the back to make sure the shield right here is not hitting anywhere. Now, as you can see, this is pretty far out, it's not going to hit it, but over here on the end, it is pretty close. So we're going to take the rotor off and bend it a little bit more just so it doesn't hit the rotor itself. Now, before putting the caliper on the car, you do have to use the existing brake line that was already on the vehicle. So I do this at the end, that way a lot of brake fluid doesn't come out, because it wouldn't make sense to take the brake line out and then do the rotors and then take the shield off and then put the caliper on. That's just going to waste a lot of time. Do it at the end, just place it on the top, leave it there for a while, and then you can go ahead and take it off at the end and put it on the car quickly. If your brake pads are a little far out and you don't have enough space to put in the rotor, what you can do is you can grab a bar, kind of like this, and just push it, and it should open. Now, not open them, it should push the brake pads far in, that way you can put the rotor on. But make sure you take the bolt out, and then just push it, and a lot of the brake fluid should come out. So we're going to push it, and now it just went in, and then you're going to do the same thing to the other side. So you're going to push it. And there you go. That should be it. Alright guys, the install is not complete. The calipers are all on the car. It looks so much better, and I already test drove it around. It feels great. The response is a lot quicker. Now, when you're doing this, make sure that you first start off with the bleeder behind the caliper first, and then the second one would be this front one here. So start off with the rear, then move over to the front one. But the bleeding process, you always want to start off from the caliper farthest from the reservoir, and the reservoir is on this side, which is the driver's side. So of course you would start off over there on the passenger side at the end, then you would start over here, then move over to this side, and then you would go over to this side last. Now when you're bleeding the brake system, you want to have somebody inside the car. They're going to push the brake 3 times, and then they're going to hold it down. While they're holding it down, you're going to loosen the bleeder. Once you loosen it, you're going to tighten it back up and then have them let go. You have to do this all in the same process to try to get as much air out If you feel that the brake is still going all the way down, you want to keep doing it until all the air is out of the system. So make sure you're checking the reservoir, adding brake fluid. Once it starts going down under the minimum, you want to add it. That way any air doesn't go inside the system, because then you're going to be pumping it. There's going to be no brake fluid inside. There are other ways you can bleed the system instead of having somebody help you out. I believe that there is a kind of like a tool that has a hose, and you can put on the bleeder, and then you pump up the brakes, and then it starts putting the brake fluid inside a container. You would have to purchase that. I'm not sure where they sell it, but I did it this way. It's always how I've pretty much done it. Or you could just take it to a dealer and they could do it for you. But if you want to do this yourself without using any tools, that's how you would do it. Of course, it's going to get a little messy. You're going to have brake fluid coming out and going under the car. Maybe you could put like a towel there, try to clean it all up, but it does get a little messy, and it will get all over your calipers. So if you do this process, as it is going to get a little messy, just put something under there so it kind of absorbs all the brake fluid. For my next video, I do plan on doing the force brake light for the 370Z. So as you can see, it's missing the light right there. Doesn't have anything. So I already have that. I'm going to install it hopefully this weekend. So once I install it, I'll show you guys how to wire everything. It should look a lot better, and hopefully I'll be picking up a new bumper for the 370Z. So stay tuned for that. But for right now, I'll go ahead and leave a little cinematic for the Q with the wheels and the calipers already installed. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.